Oh, Coxear and Huckleberry. Thank you. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. There's been a lot that's gone on. 1, I got married. 2, moved. 3, been working my butt off. But I missed making YouTube videos, and I have a really cool video for today, and hopefully, I'm not even gonna pretend to try to go back on track and be like, there's gonna be more videos to come, because every time I say that, I feel like I take a longer break. I'm sorry, I'm working on it, I'm sorry. But today's video is really cool. Check this out. So, you know what, hold on. Let's roll the intro. Recently, I've been getting really tired of Pinterest and just Instagram in general. I feel like there are very few ways to get inspired nowadays, and I've just constantly been trying to find new and more refreshing ways to actually be inspired in photography, in videography, in the craft, in this whole medium, and Pinterest is just not it. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of cool things on Pinterest and obviously on Instagram as well, but I'm kind of tired of recreating, in a sense, those standard Pinterest things, if you know what I'm talking about. I feel like there is less art and more algorithm feed on Pinterest, and it hasn't been sparking the right creative notes for me. So I have decided to go into photo books, and I know I've made a video on this in the past. I've loved photo books. I've started collecting them. I have a ton. There's a very special photo book that I want to talk about today, and that is the brand new Book 2 by Jared Polin. This thing is insane. So this book just came out. It was released on Kickstarter a long time ago, and I backed it, and I finally got my hands on it because it was finally made, and it's a whole process of how Jared put together this book. And if you guys don't know who Jared Polin is, Fro Knows Photo, Mr. Fro Knows Photo, whatever, the big afro, and does the amazing tutorials and camera reviews. The guy is a beast. Super amazing artist, and he created this beautiful photo book. When I saw the amount of work that he was putting into it, I had to back the project, and I'm so happy I did because I got this beautiful book, and I want to take you through it a little bit. So Book 2 is 22 years of music photography. This is insane. Every single book is signed by Jared. First of all, I just want to say the way that he did this book is absolutely fantastic. A lot of people who make photo books, basically they go to a publisher, but in order to cut costs, you kind of have to sacrifice things like paper quality, picture quality, XYZ to make more books. Jared funded this whole thing himself. From the start to the finish, I mean, he chose everything. He chose the paper, he chose how it was laid out and everything. I'm going to go into some of the specs. This book is a monster of a book. Each page is 14 inches tall and 10.5 inches wide. 280 plus pages with 180 plus photos, and this book weighs 7 pounds. It's quite substantial if you think about it. And what's cool is that this book is not a normal photo book. One moment. Okay, so normal photo books like this, Vimeo Mirror, Shoot Photography, they're just like a normal book. They have the same binding. And it's kind of hard to put 2 photos or do a spread on 2 different pages. Jared was like, nah, ain't none of that happening. So he decided to do a Swiss binding. So Swiss binding is basically something that looks like this. And when I first got it, I'm gonna be honest, I thought I got a book that was broken, because I was like, that doesn't seem right. But check this out. If you go to a photo like this, I mean, this is a full-on photo, and it takes up 2 pages, and look at that. The actual seam, the binding barely gets in the way of the photo, and that's awesome. I mean, you can really see all the detail. So he really didn't like the way that things would get lost in this crease, so he fixed that. And apparently Swiss binding is a lot more expensive to do, but he wanted to maintain the quality of the book, and this is one of the ways that he did it. But yeah, from controlling the paper quality to the print quality, all of that, he did all of that. And I will tell you, when you get this book, you should get this book. It is absolutely fantastic. All the photos just seem to pop out of the page. It's beautiful. A couple more really cool things about this book is that he actually created, is that on the, literally page 3, like one of the first pages, he has a QR code. And that QR code is meant for you to scan, and you can actually listen to him talk about each photo, just like his YouTube videos. If you guys watch Frono's photo, if you watch him, you know that he loves to get into the why of photography, into the how of photography, into the, you know, the nitty gritty of capturing the moment. And I think there are a lot of times where you look through a photo book, or you look and see a photo and you're like, how is that caught? What was the artist thinking of in that moment? And this is a really cool way that he was able to basically have that dialogue with you while you're looking at this book. And so he decided to make a QR code that you can scan. It's actually on his website too, and you can follow along to literally every story from every single photo, which I think is absolutely amazing. I think that adds a very rich level of detail to something that a lot of people kind of don't really realize. It's kind of like adding the extra lore. And I love that. It's so cool. Also, something really cool is at the end of the book, you have the last couple pages is every single photo in a grid, and basically it shows you what camera you shot it on, the settings of the camera, the location, who's in the photo, if it's shot on film, what camera, what film, which I think is really cool, and it kind of really shows how much work he put into this book. And so let's get into this book. I mean, this book is absolutely phenomenal. If you guys are looking for something to inspire you, photo books are a great tool, and this is exactly that. I mean, you start from the beginning, and you know, you have forward, you have a lot of really cool stories in here. And I think that's something that really stood out to me, is that every single photo has a story. And what's also really cool is you can kind of see the evolution of Jared and his work, and how, you know, the photos looked, you know, in the beginning, like this one photo right here, to, you know, the end where he's shooting, you know, other photos of other musicians, and you can kind of see the evolution of his style, his progression, but also, you know, his own work and how much he wanted to get the story right. And one thing that was actually really cool that I learned is when you're shooting musicians, you can only really shoot a couple songs during a set, and typically you only have certain access to certain parts of the stage or stuff like that. That's something that he immediately right off the bat was like, nope, I don't want to do that. Like he was kind of tired of going back and forth. And so he basically went from no access to all access. And what that did was do something really cool, which it showed the behind the scenes of how much work these artists go through. I mean, there are so many beautiful photos that go along into a story almost. You're literally kind of being transported into the behind the scenes of these amazing musicians and talented artists. And like you see here, you see Perry Farrell, you know, getting dressed. You see him ironing his own shirt. You see him hanging out backstage before he's about to go on. And then obviously you see the actual concert photos. Not only do you see the beautiful photos that, you know, are being shot at the concert, but you see all the work that goes behind it. You see the relationships. One of my favorite photos is this right here. This photo of Perry and Chris Cornell. And it's just a, you know, simple behind the scenes photo, and they're just talking to each other. There's a water bottle in the shot, you know, there's, you know, the side table's a little messy. I mean, even like it almost looks like it's not even like the horizon isn't even like perfectly level, but what's so amazing that it tells such a story, and you're kind of wondering, like, what are these guys talking about? What are these two iconic rock stars? What do they have to talk about? It's so immersive. And I think what really makes the difference about this book is you see these beautifully shot, you know, photos that are kind of like staged. They look like an album cover or stuff like that. But then you see other photos. You see the behind the scenes photos of, you know, these amazing artists. For example, this is Gavin DeGraw just walking outside of his tour bus. He has a cup of coffee in his hand or something like that. What I think is really cool is that I love the fact that I'm looking at a lot of these photos, and I'm honestly forgetting that this is a photo book. I'm forgetting that this man is taking these photos and He's an artist that I look up to. Like I'm getting lost in the photos that I see. I'm looking at the stories, I'm looking at how they develop, and that's exactly what you want in a book, much less a photo book. You want to forget there is a camera because you want to feel like you're right there. You want to feel like, you know, this guy is about to punch me in the face. And that's actually like such a cool feeling. And one thing I will say is, Jared Polin, you are the master of the wide angle lens. I mean, there are so many photos in here that are shot just super wide, you know, getting a whole bunch of that backstage. The way you capture it is just absolutely stunning. Another thing I love about this is that you have kind of sections, and there's one section that I really love, and it's the mirror selfie section. And I just think this is so cool because a lot of times as a photographer, you look back on the photos that you took and you kind of forget that you were the ones that took them. You know, you can show them to people and you know that you're there and you can tell the story, but you know, you're not actually in the photos most of the time. And so having these mirror selfies are actually really cool because it's a great way for him to incorporate himself into the work, into the story, into the narrative without actually like putting yourself in front of the camera and using a remote or something like that. It shows that he is there for a reason, and that reason is to capture things with a camera, is subtly planting himself in the story because it's a part of the story. You can't write a book without the pen and paper used to write. That's part of the story itself. And it's at the end of the book too, which I think is a great way to show like, hey, this is my work. This is his work. He's there. He's there through all of it. Don't forget about him because he's there. And he's the one that has got you lost in this beautiful tapestry of art. And I just, so if you got this on Kickstarter, there are different bundles that you could get, stuff like that. You know how Kickstarter works. He added some limited edition prints that are, you know, prints on like some pretty hefty cardstock. It's really nice. Look at this. This one is signed. I just want to say, Jared, dude, this thing is absolutely amazing. The amount of work that you put into this it's very apparent. And I thank you so much because it made going through this photo book such a pleasure, and I'm still listening to the audio side of the book, and it's just the stories you have to tell about the photos and how you got each photo and your thought process is so inspiring to look at and also to be a part of. So I want to say thank you so much for making this book and putting so much love and thought into all these images. And guys, if you guys are photographers, filmmakers, get into photo books. You won't regret it. I'm telling you. Do me a favor. If you're at Barnes & Noble, go to the photo book aisle. Just go to some and pick some out and just flip through them, and you will see what I'm saying. You will get inspired, and it is a feeling that makes me want to pick up my camera and go and shoot.